Welcome back, Tech Zone. Paul Amadeus Lane, your czar of technology. So happy you decided to stay with me. You will not be disappointed, I hope. But I'm pretty sure you won't. Our next guest that we're going to have on is going to talk about what our company is doing, the innovation that's helping professionals out there to make sure that they are current, up to date on customer service trends. Have you ever thought about that? Who trains the customer service to deliver customer service? Well, my next guest is going to talk about what our company is doing to help meet the challenge in the ever-changing landscape of when it comes to customer service. And I'm excited to have with me Devin Bramhall, who is the Director of Content of Help Scout. We had Suneet on with us earlier in the year. So Devin decided to come back and give us some more info on how the company is doing. And Devin, I'm so happy I didn't scare you guys away. Welcome. How are you?
Not at all. You're actually quite charming. So I'm grateful to be back on. Suneet said as much, and you are definitely delivering, especially with that bow tie. So thank you for having me.
Thank you.
And I'm doing great. I'm really excited to be here.
Awesome. You're gonna make me blush. Now you're gonna see a black man blush on video. That's gonna be something. It's gonna go viral. So that's all I'm saying. But thank you so much for the kind words, my dear. And looking at what has happened with the company now. Well, what are some of the updates that you guys have made to the program since the last time I chatted with Suneet?
Yeah. So one of the biggest changes that we've made is actually on the content side. So we just released a new education platform called HelpU, and it's geared for customer service and support training for companies and teams. And it's really just us taking a step back and realizing that we're always working on the product and adding features and improving the product to be better for our customers. But we were missing this whole piece of the pie, which is really, we're not supporting the support teams and the companies that are trying to grow in providing best practice customer support. And so we really spent some time to develop a platform that was geared towards supporting them, not just with product, but with education, right? And free education. Because a lot of the companies that we work with are, medium-sized companies that are trying to grow really fast, and they may not necessarily have the resources they need yet, or the bandwidth to be able to, pay for trainings or send people to, certificate programs or whatever. So we're like, hey, we should just be giving this to you. We should be helping you holistically, not just with a product. So
absolutely, that makes a lot of sense, and I love the name of the platform, HelpU. It doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah. No, it's really, it's a humbling experience to spend so much time, again, working on this product, working on, we've been producing educational content for years, but we're like, a blog, the format of a blog, it's just a stream of content. It's not organized well. We're like, that's not helpful to people, right? Like we realized there was more, so much more we could have done. And the result we're really happy with. And, we just released it. There's a lot more stuff we want to add, and we're trying to get as much feedback as we can in the early days to kind of just continue to make improvements on this platform as we do the product.
And Devin, if you can expound a little bit on how it promotes customer support building. Let's just take that subject and kind of expound a little more. And can you explain a little bit more in detail about that?
Yeah. So, it's funny. There's been, there's all this trend talk around support is the new marketing and blah, 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 and, we sort of stay on top of all that stuff. And we're like, support has always been a key driver of growth and retention. And I think what happens is the conversation stays there. It stays focused on the trend and not on how to implement that trend and how companies can really, utilize a trend for their own benefit, I guess. And that's where we feel that support teams need to not only be elevated professionally or within the company, but they also need to be supported with resources. And I think that the very existence of an education platform for customer service and support teams, like, really puts a stake in the ground to elevate that profession and sort of challenge the people to put their money where their mouth is, right? If support is going to be the bedrock of the company, then we need to invest in them like we do in marketing teams and sales teams and product teams.
That makes a lot of sense. Is, when you look at the objective of the company, exceptional customer support, I tell you nowadays, we really don't see a lot of that. I don't know if you've dealt with that personally, but it's really frustrating. And I'll be honest, sometimes as customers, we can get turned up a little bit and get a little, you know what I mean? And I just remember back in the days when it comes to customer service, they would try to really diffuse the situation. But now it seems like, depending on who you get now, they want to buck up against you. They want to elevate the anger as much as you. So I'm glad that your company's out there helping ones to have this exceptional customer service.
Yeah. And honestly, exceptional customer service to us is a goal, and it's not really, to be honest, an achievable future state. Providing great customer service is an ongoing process because inherently it involves humans. And so humans are imperfect and humans have feelings. And so you're always just working towards that goal. You're never going to reach a pinnacle of excellent customer support. Like, technology keeps changing. So how we deliver it keeps changing, which means we've got to kind of start over and relearn the best practices that we're using in email or phone support for chat. And so, I think that's the other reason why, you need that kind of ongoing education, because you're never just going to achieve excellent customer support. You're always just going to be working your hardest towards it.
That's so true. And I remember my conversation with Tanit that I had earlier in the year, and just the mindset of the company and why the company was created in the first place. I think it's phenomenal, because we see customer service is really like the bloodline for companies to continue to be successful, because if your customers need help, they want to know that they can come to you and get the help, get the support, and also feel that they have been heard. Now, have you taken any of your personal experiences as far as customer service is concerned, and being the director of content, to say, okay, we need to implement something like this in there because this is a frustration that I had maybe with a certain company?
Definitely. I think, I started off my career in customer support, and I've been a customer. So I feel like those two things make me extremely empathetic to the customers that we serve and to the customer support teams that we're also serving. And so I think the best way to sum it up would be that I just want to provide something useful. And that's one of the sort of the pillars of our company is we want to be helpful. And so any kind of marketing initiatives that we do, I don't want them to be empty. They need to actually have something that our customers need. And that's, I think, why I like my job so much here, and why I loved building HelpU, and why I love I love working at this company, because it's easier to love my job and be empathetic when you work for a company that is really centered around the customer and the customer support team. So
it makes a lot of sense. And what I'm really just jonesing about and really bugging out about is just the features of this platform. Certain things like customer support related job openings, events, playlist, influencer Q&A. What's up with that? I mean, these are all great things in there. What made you guys want to implement that?
So that was really, so first of all, that was HelpU is the definition of a team effort. And so, for example, the support-driven jobs, right? That was really born from, okay, if we're going to elevate the customer support as a profession, we need to give them things like, new opportunities and help them understand where those are. Well, we're not a job board, but we partner really closely with Support Driven, which is a customer support group. They have a Slack channel. They've got over 2,000 members. It's free. It's great. We love them. And we're like, okay, well, let's elevate those guys. They're like the best, most engaged group of customer support people. Like, they've got a job board. Like, let's bring them into the mix and build more community here and really like try to take follow their lead, I guess, and say, yeah, we could be doing more for the community too, like as a business. You don't have to be a free group in order to support, an industry. And then so other things like events, the question and answer library, which literally takes like a question that a customer might ask and like give a sample answer for it and explain why. Like, those are like really nitty gritty tactical things that people on support teams would need and want. And we're like, we want to provide that, I guess. And so I think there's a lot more that we need to do. There's a lot more that we need to add. There's a lot more resources we can add into it. So I see like, I'm so excited about it. And it's almost making me feel like, oh my gosh, there's so much more, But again, it's just about that holistic support for customer service and support teams. What is everything that those people need to be successful at their job, grow in their career, what companies need to build customer service and support teams? Like, let's just give that away and really truly be the mission that we as a company have set out to be, which is helpful.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you reiterated that, because I talked about that in the beginning too, about how this is a free resource for companies, and every company likes free, right? Because let's face it, I used to be a business owner myself. We cheap, we want stuff for free, and this is great content, that can definitely help us out. Now, talk about the playlist. What can we find in the platform of the playlist?
Oh, it's so cool. What a brilliant idea. That was definitely not mine. Like, I cannot take credit for that at all. We have our founders, Jared, Denny, and Nick, are such brilliant and multi-talented gentlemen. So Jared is our lead designer, and he sort of came up with this idea for playlists. And it's just aggregating content on a topic. It's the same as like a curriculum, right? A curriculum is a topic area, and you've got lots of different articles and books and things that you'll read to help you like learn that topic and master it. Playlists are the same thing, and I think that what we're trying to do is make it super relatable to people, and playlists are pretty, thank you, Spotify, right? Like, people get that. They understand it at a glance. And so we're like, let's try this out. And then it, of course, like visually, it leads to like all these other opportunities. The way he made it, implemented it, it's like, wow, like it's fun to look at this site, right? It's not just like, here's some information, guys. It's like, it's playful.
Definitely. And I think one priceless feature of the platform is the influencer Q&A. To be able to get some questions out and some answers from ones out there who are really, taking the world by storm in business or just in general. How did you guys pull that off?
And we've been so lucky. The first month, that we've kicked this off was October, and Shep Hyken is just, Shep Hyken is just one of those guys that everybody knows. Like, if you work in customer service, you know who Shep Hyken is. He's really nice. He knows the business. He understands customer service from the team perspective, from the business perspective, from the customer perspective. And he's just so generous and kind in his knowledge. And I'm not saying that just because he helped us out with this. It's like, it's really true. You meet the guy, he's so genuine. And so, we really just started asking people like, hey, we're building this platform, will you come and share your knowledge with people? Because, and so we've been really lucky. We've got Shep, we've got Adrian Swinsco next month, Chase Clemens from Basecamp in December. And we're just looking to find more and more people like that who will come in and share their knowledge, again, in a free space for other people to really just help build them up. And, we want to share as much knowledge as possible. We've got a ton of knowledge here at Help Scout, and there's a whole bunch of other people that have it too. And we're like, come here, help us share it. Like, just let's give more of this away. So it's just one of many experiments that we're running to see like what's the most useful for our audience.
And I think you guys are definitely on the right track. And talk about you being the director of content, just how much you are involved in implementing, a lot of the features with Help Scout. In addition, this platform HelpU.
Yeah. So I mean, look, this is my dream job. Like I love, I'm one of those like hands-on leaders, and I think that's a part of the reason why I was so attracted to coming here is that all of our founders are extremely hands-on in each area of the business that they lead. And that's what I like about my position here. So I was deeply involved in HelpU. I would refrain from taking any official credit for it, but literally from the early days of like the idea, Matt Patterson, who's our customer evangelist, kind of brought this idea forward. I'm just working closely with him and Jared and Sunit and Nick to kind of build out the idea, build a timeline for it, figure out what content's going to be there. I mean, gosh, for every bit of polish, and I'm sure you can relate to this, like for everything that you see that's neat and tidy is like the messiest, like trying to figure out like, how do you organize that? What topics go first? What features do we need? What features need to come second? And, that's really my job, is to help lead the team through that and keep things moving forward and directing it forward, and then getting my hands on as many creative parts of it as possible. But really, like, all the skill is with everybody else. I'm just kind of helping to keep it organized and move it along.
Awesome, man. And one thing that I've noticed just talking to you this brief, time that we've had together is that you really enjoy your job, and that really comes off. And I can tell, the force is strong with you. The tech force is strong with you. I can tell that you love tech. What drove you to the tech industry in the first place?
So I guess I would say it was a really bad fashion industry job. When I graduated from college, I wanted to be a fashion writer, and I worked at a boutique here in Boston, and it went very poorly. And so I kind of meandered a little bit, and then found this job at a company called SpringPad, and they were a personal organization app before there were iPhone and Androids. It was just a web app and a mobile web app that we could use on our Blackberries at the time. And I worked in customer support, and I loved it. It blended, the human aspect with the writing and creativity, and Twitter and Facebook. Gosh, like the feature set we were working with back then is far cry from what it is now. And I think I just loved it. I loved that it was fast, and I didn't get it all the time, and that like there was a never-ending opportunity to learn more stuff, right? And that's still true today. Like, it just keeps changing the tools we got to work with, and it's like, cool, let's try this today or that today. So I think it just sort of keeps me, the curious side of my mind, like really interested, because like there's no plateau ever.
That is so true. And let's say the business owner is listening right now who needs some help with customer service for the company. Who is this platform made for specifically? Because someone may be listening and they be like, well, I want to implement this with our company. Who's it tailor made for?
Yeah, so that's a great question, actually. I would say it's really three people. So if you're just starting a business, and you need, you're at the point where you need a customer service team, we've got playlists in there for people who are growing teams and building them for the first time. If you're a support lead, and you need help managing your team and also growing your team, implementing best practices, et cetera, it's for you. And then we have the sort of super tactical day-to-day, like, how to different, communicating tone, and how to answer certain questions, et cetera. Like, it's really for those three buckets, I think, of people. And I think there's enough for sort of everybody there, for those three buckets. And, we'll see. There might be more that we need to add, but for now, that's kind of where we're digging in, and we're looking into going even more, being even more deliberate with things like courses and stuff in the future. So stay tuned for that too.
That sounds like something is in the making that we cannot share yet, but we're looking forward to it. When it happens, Devin, you know where to find me. Just holler at me, and we'll definitely talk about it more. All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. It's been great.
It's been awesome. And Devin, how can one find out more information about Help Scout?
Yeah, so helpscout.com, and you can visit HelpU at helpscout.com/HelpU, and it's HELP and the letter U.
All right. Devin, it's been awesome chatting with you, and look forward to catching up with you in the future. All right.
Thank you so much.
Huge shout out to Devin Bromhall, Help Scout. Thank you so much for joining me on the show. Did you know what a director of content did? I did a little bit, but she definitely educated me when it comes to this type of innovation out there, helping the customer service professionals or companies to make sure they're offering the best customer service out there and training them on how to do so with support and technology. I told you, tech is everywhere. Changing the game. It's there, folks. Are you ready for it? Hey, when we get back, we're going to talk about another piece of innovation out there in the apparel market. Are you ready for that? I know I am. Be back right after these messages.